Hello, Julenn Keeling here, Associate Broker with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Towne Realty. Welcome to Chapter 108 in my first time home buying series. One of the first steps that I would suggest when you're considering buying your first home would be to get your pre-approval done. We will discuss how to do just that, and be sure to stay tuned to the end as I will have bonus tips on how best to get your pre-approval accomplished, as I'm always presenting you with options and producing results. Let's jump right in. The first thing to do is to determine where you would like to get your pre-approval done, but more importantly, who you would like to originate your loan. You may consider a mortgage broker, a bank, or a credit union as possible options. Keep in mind that wherever you get your loan through initially or originates the loan will most likely change when it comes to the servicing of the loan. Your servicing company will be different, but all of your terms should remain the same. The only thing that really changes is who you will be making your payment to. There are a small handful of lenders that actually keep the loans, but most of them actually end up selling them. Your realtor is a great resource for a reputable lender in your local area. They can probably at least provide you with a couple of different lending options based on their professional expertise and knowledge of the local lenders in your area. So I would definitely take advantage of their knowledge and expertise and ask for some recommendations. Bonus tip, I would suggest a local lender or a lender that has at least local underwriting. This tends to make the back-end process of the loan go a lot smoother. When underwriting isn't local and you have to send your docs out of state to be underwritten, this can prove to be quite cumbersome. You may be dealing with underwriting and processing personnel that isn't even in the same state, and so that presents its own challenges with different time zones that come into play. What I've found when dealing with a lender that doesn't have local underwriting is that when the docs have to go out of state, they tend to get lost or not where they're supposed to be. So what ends up happening is that the borrower usually has to send the same docs over and over again in order to keep the loan process moving. That in itself can be quite frustrating. I would also suggest going with a lender that you will be able to communicate with outside of what would be considered your normal banking hours of Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. The mortgage process can be quite complex, and you want to have one central loan officer that is available to answer any and all questions that you may have, even if some of those questions happen to pop up outside of your normal banking hours. There's a lot of real estate that happens outside of these hours, and you definitely want to be able to get your questions answered when you need to. Now that you have selected a lender, the loan officer is going to ask for your social security number, and they're going to pull your credit to see what's on your credit report. The loan officer will also ask you to provide supporting documentation of anything that you may have gone over verbally with them. The requested docs will entail info about your employer and income, asset verification such as your bank statements, retirement accounts, and any other investments that you may have. The lender will also verify proof of residency and rental history. You will also need to provide your last 2 years worth of tax returns, W-2s, 1099s, and/or LES statements. If you haven't quite selected a lender just yet, you may want to go ahead and start to gather the documents. I will put a link down below in the description for a pre-approval document checklist that you can use as a nifty little guide to help you prepare for loan application. Now that you know what your lending options are and the documents that are going to be required, the next part is the actual application. You can meet with the loan officer in person, hence why it's really great to have a local point of contact, or you may choose to do your application online depending upon whatever your preference may be. Bonus tip, if you're shopping for your mortgage online, be extremely careful about where you're entering your personal info into. It's always good to be able to establish a direct point of contact or a loan officer prior to entering in all of your info, even if you ultimately decide to apply online. Your loan officer or direct point of contact should be able to send you to their secured website or send you a secured link in which you can do your formal loan app. Another bonus tip, if you plan on shopping for a mortgage between 2 or 3 different prospective lenders, I would suggest to have all of them to pull your credit within a relatively short amount of time from one another. The reason for this is that the inquiries from them will have less of an effect on your credit score. The credit bureaus will be able to see that you are shopping for a mortgage, and your scores will decrease less than if they are spaced out over an extended period of time. But no worries, your score may go down a little bit, but it shouldn't be a whole lot. However, I would not suggest having the mortgage increase in addition to other random pulls for credit, such as for a car or furniture or some of your department store cards. At that point, the credit bureaus are not going to know what it is that you plan on doing with your credits, and you will see a significant decrease in your scores. By the way, I have a full video on what not to do when buying a home that I will also link down below in the description for you to take a peek at, that goes more in depth on some of the do's and don'ts when buying. I hope that you have enjoyed the content and learned a little something along the way, as my goal is to always educate my buyers throughout the home buying process. If you like what you saw, please give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment below, and consider subscribing. I will be putting out weekly real estate info videos. Thanks again for watching, and I look forward to connecting with you again soon. Bye!